Well, today I'm going to be installing an all-sky camera. I have an old camera laying around that I haven't used, so I'm gonna convert that one to an all-sky camera, and let's get this project going. All right. Well, this is the camera I'm going to be using. I've had it for about 3.5 years, and I got it to use on my telescopes to image galaxies and stars and stuff like that, but I just haven't been able to get the hang of it. I mess with the settings, and I've tried 4 or 5 times, and I just can't get it to work properly. I don't know, it's probably me. I know it's me. I'm doing something wrong. But I've decided to repurpose it as an all-sky camera. Well, this camera is made by ZWO, and it's the first generation of the ASI 178 MC cooled. I hope that focus is okay. But I already did a test run using the all-sky lens, and it seems to work pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and build a housing for it and mount it up on the roof, and we'll see how it works. So I got this lens from ZWO. I ordered this lens from ZWO, and I'll put a link in the description. And I didn't read the posting online correctly, because it said this lens would work with the ASI 178. What I did not read is it doesn't work with the cooled version, and this one is the cooled version here. So what I had to do is I had to remove the protective glass lens that's on the surface of this plate here, and that exposed the sensor, the CCD sensor, because it no longer had the glass covering. But that I had to do that in order to set this lens back far enough in for it to focus. So I set it in there, and I put some hot glue around it, as you can see here, to hold it in place. And that creates a seal not to let any dust in onto the sensor. And now I am able to focus this camera properly to get some good images of all the sky. And like I said, I already did a test run and it works good, so I'm going to go ahead and build a housing for this. Okay, now for the housing. It's going to be exposed to the elements, so it's got to be sealed, and of course it's got to have some kind of transparent lens on top to protect the camera from all the elements. So I did some searching online to see what other people have done, and this is what I came up with. I'm going to start with this is about a 7-inch long, 4-inch diameter PVC pipe. I'm going to start with it. The camera's going to go in here like this. This here is a 4-inch to a 2-inch reducer. This will be on the bottom part. And this here is a 4-inch end cap. So this will be on the top part here. Of course, the camera will be inside. I'm going to drill a 3-inch hole on the top here. And I found this lens on Amazon. specially made for cameras. So this lens will go on top like this. So that's the plan. So I'm gonna, on the bottom part, down here, I'm gonna put in a 2-inch pipe. And on the bottom of the pipe, I'm gonna put a 2-inch end cap to seal it off. So that's the plan. So let me get to work and we'll see how it goes. All right. So I had to go and get out my dusty old drill press here, so I could make the 3-inch hole on the cap. I'm gonna mark more or less where the center is, kind of eyeball it. I would say it's about there. And we'll see how it goes. Seems to be center there. And I think we are all the way through. Yes, we are. Well, here is the 3-inch hole. Turned out pretty good. So far, so good. Let's continue working. Okay, well, now that I have the 3-inch hole drilled out here, I need to drill the holes for the screws, or actually they're bolts, that are going to hold the lens to the top here. So I've marked the location of all the holes, and I'm going to drill these on the drill press. That way they are completely vertical and not drilled at an angle, because the top of this is still rounded, and I want the bolts to go straight through vertically. So that's the plan. We'll see if it works. Okay, so I'm using a 5/32 drill bit, and I'll be using these number 6 32 by 3/4 inch machine screws to attach the clear dome to this cap. All right, so let's drill the first hole and let's see what happens. Take it slow. It looks like it was a success. Now I'm going to drill the one completely opposite of that one. Okay, so now we have 2 holes. I am going to check the alignment with 2 screws, and I'm going to get the lens. You're going to put a screw in there, make sure it lines up. Another screw, And okay, that looks good. On the inside, still enough room for the nut and the washer. I think I am going to leave those screws in place just to make sure I get the other holes in the proper position with my drill press. Okay, that's what it's looking like so far. So now I am just going to put the drill bit right in the lens holes. That way the holes are perfectly aligned. That's the plan. We'll see if it works. Here we go. First one looks okay. All right, we'll continue. Okay, you can see it better from the inside. All the holes are drilled through and they are completely vertical. So now I'm going to take these screws off, clean these holes up. And I'm gonna get the paint out and spray paint all these parts. Okay, so I'm ready to paint this. I wanted to paint the inside black, at least this top portion, but I can't find any black paint here in my cabin, so I'm gonna use this dark gray for now, and I'll have to come back and spray the inside black. I don't plan on gluing the fittings to the PVC pipe because I want to be able to come back and work on the camera if I need to. So I'll need to be able to take this apart and access the camera. So no glue. But I think that's going to be okay. Okay, now I'm going to spray the outside. But I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm ready to paint the outside of this housing. I am going to go with a silver metallic finish. So we'll see how it turns out. So far, so good. Okay, almost done. I'm gonna wait till this dries so I could paint the other end. It looks like a muffler for a 72 Pinto, but it's not. So far, so good. I think the plan is working. All right, stay tuned. Okay, well, now that I've painted the whole thing, I'm gonna take it apart so I can put the camera inside. Put this over here to the side. Now my camera needs to fit in here with the lens partially sticking out like this. And then the lens will go on top, just like that. Now the trick is, how do I attach the camera? What I am going to do, I'm going to attach some pieces of 1/2-inch plywood to the sides. That way I have a surface to screw to. So hopefully this will work. We will give it a shot. So I'm going to stick my first piece of plywood in there like this. My second piece of plywood in there like this. A little crude, but I think it will do the job. I got my pliers, and I want to tighten this a little bit more, as much as I can. I think that is good. Now I'm going to cut the remainder of the zip tie off. And let's give it a test fit on the PVC pipe. And I think I can make this work. Okay. So now when I put the cap on, and the lid, I think I could go up a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, I want the lens sticking out a little bit like that. Yeah, I think there is good. All right. So that is how much the camera will stick out of the PVC pipe. So now I'm going to drill some holes so I can attach the wood, those pieces of plywood, to the PVC, and we'll put some screws in there. Okay, well, I found a couple of screws I'm going to use to attach the camera to the PVC pipe. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill some holes here on the side, and it's going to attach to the plywood strips on the inside. Okay, here goes the first one. Okay, now I just drilled through the PVC pipe and not through the plywood. Now I'm going to get a smaller drill bit to make a pilot hole for the screw in the plywood. Perfect. Now this one. Perfect. And now I am going to attach the screws. Okay, perfect. Hopefully you can see in there, but the screws are attached to the plywood and they are about an inch below the camera surface, so they're not going to damage the camera, and that's exactly what I wanted. So now when I put my cap on there and my lens, everything's going to line up perfectly. Okay, so now I'm ready to attach the lens to the cap. I'm going to start with one bolt. I'll hold the bolt with my finger. On the bottom here, I will put a washer and then the nut. Okay, so the first one's in there. Okay, there it is. Now I gotta make sure they're tight, but not overly tight, because it may crack the plastic, since it's still there's still a gap there, because we know the top of this is rounded. So let me go ahead and start tightening these. Don't want to overdo it. That should be it there. Okay, it's looking really good now. Okay, so the next step now is I want to seal this edge here. Even though this cap is rounded, so the water will run off, it won't go in there. We'll still get moisture in there and maybe even some dust. So I want to put a bead of silicone caulk all the way around this. Now the caulk I'm using is this silicone for exterior. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'll let it dry for a while, and meanwhile I'll continue with the other parts of this housing. Now I need to make a hole to get my cables out of here. I'm going to have the camera cable, and I want them to come out here on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a hole right about here. I would say about there. I'm going to use my 1/2 inch bit here. Okay, now I just gotta cut these two lines, and I think we'll be good. Let me go cut this and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I got these cut. So now when I put my cap on there, I have room for my cables. And I'll just seal it up with caulk. Go ahead and hook it up to my laptop with a cable. And we'll check the focus, and then we'll put this thing together and we'll see what happens. All right. So the software I'm using is called AllSky, and it's free. I'll make a video on this later, but for now I'll just show you how I focus my camera I'll zoom into an area here on my image, and I'll turn the lens left or right until I'm happy with the focus. Now that the image is in focus, I can just click on the reset button to go back to my original image, and that's pretty much it. I'm done with the software for now. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this thing together. All right, so here is the cable for the camera. Run it down through here. I'm gonna set them down here like this. Seal that in place. Seal that in place. Now that my lens is focused, I'm gonna put the lid on there. And I think we have a system ready to go. Well, okay. It took some doing, but I got it installed. As you can see, it's right up there. It's still a little short. I gotta extend that tube a little more, maybe another 12 inches. I want it to be above the peak, maybe another 6 inches or so, but I gotta extend it, and I need to waterproof that connection. But for now, it's gonna stay like that for a couple days. There's no rain expected, so I want to test out the system, see how it works, and after that, I think we have a well, I think now we have an all-sky camera installed. Well, the sun is setting, so now it's time to go in there and adjust all the settings and get it set up to record automatically. So yeah, it's done. And here is the first video that I'm getting from this all-sky camera. I hope you enjoy it.